at other facilities. So it's kind of cool to do praise and worship in Baghdad. Go ahead. Now, Afghanistan. We spent a year there, and it was a rough year. I was able to meet with some of the local religious leaders. I was hoping he was going to make it, but he didn't make it tonight. Chaplain Lieutenant Colonel Paul Matty was a brigade chaplain. He was brigade chaplain for now 4-star Randy George. The way he made 4-star is because, unfortunately, we lost about 60 people that year in Afghanistan. One of them is Staff Sergeant Haney. I think we're going to see his memorial here in a minute. Go ahead, Heather. So again, meeting with some of the local religious leaders and doing what we can to help out the little kids. Some of my friends and I were like, was it worth it? Was it worth going to Afghanistan, losing several thousand? And one thing we did, one of the highlights, and I think some of you all might have helped out with that, you sent 200 boxes of school supplies, which we gave out to the little schools in the areas around us. And then the girls were able to read and write for the first time ever. I hear now that it's been taken away from them again, but we've planted that seed of freedom in them, that seed of education so that they want to learn. And so I look back on that as a positive of our time there. Go ahead, Heather. So it was a joy to be able to fly about 100 times that year in a helicopter again. Staff Sergeant Brian Havens kept me safe. He is now a Christian rap artist. So one of these years, I'll bring him. He's actually doing pretty dang good, like 50,000 hits on YouTube or whatever. So I may bring him out here sometime to help with the youth here. Go ahead, Heather. Yes, we were mortared there as well. Thank you for, where's Lillian? Where is she? Hi. She's been praying for me for 14 years, is it? I got all my fingers and toes, so thank you, Lillian, and Diane. Where's Diane? You've been praying for me as well. So thank you for everybody for praying for me. It's been challenging, but good to survive and celebrate tonight. Go ahead, Heather. There is Staff Sergeant Haney's memorial service we had to do in Afghanistan, and unfortunately, as you know, not everybody came home. So I'm still in contact with his wife and keeping in contact with his kids to see how they're doing. Frank, thank you for supporting the military. Shiloh, he prays for us too. Go ahead and go. Okay, so I was hoping Andy Vaughn would make it. I don't think he made it. One of the soldier recovery unit chaplains at Fort Carson's Hospital I got to know, and I was privileged to go back on active duty, thanks to the Colorado Guard for releasing me to go to Evans Hospital for a year and a half to help them out. And let's see what else we got. Yes, intermediate level education. So, you know, chaplains kind of do Christ stuff. You know, we study the Bible and we preach and we go talk with soldiers and families, right? They tried to teach me how to shoot rockets. So, see this colonel and that colonel? I salute you. You got through it. Even though I have a B average in my doctoral counseling program, they're like, you can't shoot rockets, chaplain. It's like, yeah, like I ever would. So it was the Lord's will for me to retire as a major, so I'm fine with that. I know a couple other gentlemen had to go through that on the active duty side as well. So go on. I think we're almost done here. So again, I was serving the Colorado Guard, helping them out at Fort Bliss as the unit was getting ready to mobilize, so I was able to help some soldiers as they were getting ready to deploy. Go ahead, Heather. And then I transferred to civil affairs. Thanks for helping me join. 6 years in the Guard was enough, sir. I had to move over to join civil affairs. Then they released me to go be the rear detachment chaplain at Fort Carson, because if you didn't figure it out in 2010, they cut too many chaplains. So they called me back to active duty for 3 years. And a year and a half at the hospital, a year at 2nd Brigade, and so on. So you'll notice in the back there's some recruiting information. If you know any wannabe chaplains, we need chaplains. We're not meeting our goals in the Army, Air Force, Navy, right? You're not, I mean, how's re-enlistment going in Navy? Yeah, same. So if you know anybody who wants to join the military, treated me okay. I think we're almost done here. And yes, I just had to rough it doing some relationship conferences in Breckenridge, in Germany, and here in Colorado. So I think that's all I have of a quick summary of my 22 years, so I will turn it over to Chaplain Colonel Bruce Sidebotham.
You can have a seat first. Yeah, so you're all here because we all know and love Chaplain Satterfield, and I just really want to congratulate you on a great career, great commitment to soldiers and God. I always knew I could trust you to stand firm for the gospel wherever God puts you. You weren't going to compromise. You were going to be willing, ready to share your faith, but do it, in a way that didn't get anybody in trouble. And it's just been a real privilege to watch how the Lord's used you, and really celebrate tonight as you complete the journey with the Army Chaplain Corps. I do want to mention one of the reasons I made it through Airborne and Ranger and all of that and got to Colonel was I started out as a combat engineer. I didn't start out as a chaplain. So that helped me get through Command and General Staff College and intermediate level education. It's certainly a lot easier to finish that if you've started out as a line officer. So, but thank you for what you do also at the prison. We can talk more during the fellowship time about some of the stuff that I've done with respect to the war on terror and 9/11 and so forth. So please come stand. I'm going to read a letter from the Chief of Chaplains of the Army to Chaplain Satterfield. Your retirement this year brings to a close your long and distinguished career as an Army chaplain. We who remain in service lose from our ranks a servant of God whose dedication greatly enhanced the role of the United States Army Chaplain Corps. The many honors, awards, and service medals you have received are tangible proof of your devoted service to God and to the men and women who defend our country. Through your sacred ministry, you have eased pain, enhanced the quality of life, and facilitated the spiritual growth of innumerable service members and their families. I am confident that in the years that lie ahead, you will continue to be of great service as a strong supporter of the Chaplain Corps. I look forward to our continued collegiality and friendship through a shared involvement in one of our professional associations. May God bless you and yours as you leave us to enter a new phase of your ministry. Sincerely, Thomas L. Soljum, Chaplain, Major General, Chief of Chaplains, U.S. Army.